Welcome to my channel, guys. I hope so you're doing well. I am Dr. Ria and I'm here to help you out in the medical studies. In this video, we're going to talk about the oculomotor nerve, which is also known as cranial nerve number 3. We'll talk about the origin, exit, course, and supply, and finally, we'll talk about the lesions related to the cranial nerve number 3. Let's talk about the origin. What do you know about the origin? Oh, I know that it's from the midbrain. But midbrain is where? It is a part of the brain stem. And where is the brain stem? It is located inside the skull, just above the foramen magnum. Now, what is foramen magnum? It is just the opening at the base of the skull. So, the oculomotor nerve is in the midbrain, and it consists of 3 nuclei. So, the oculomotor nuclear complex consists of 3 nuclei. The first one is somatic motor nucleus. The second one is parasympathetic nucleus, also known as Edinger-Westphal nucleus, and the third one is accessory oculomotor nucleus. The first one is somatic motor nucleus. It innervates the levator palpebrae superioris and all the extraocular muscle except the lateral rectus and superior oblique. Why it does not supply the lateral rectus and superior oblique? Because these both muscles are supplied by separate nerves. The superior oblique is supplied by SO4, like the forecranial nerve, and LR6 representing that the lateral rectus is supplied by the 6th cranial nerve. In this picture, in the pink color, the somatic motor nucleus is shown. The second nucleus is parasympathetic nucleus, Edinger-Westphal nucleus. As the name mentioned, it is giving a parasympathetic supply to which muscle? To the sphincter, pupillae, and the ciliary muscle, right? So let's talk about the accessory oculomotor nucleus. Can you see that in the picture? You are not seeing it. So wait for it. It consists of 2 further nuclei, interstitial nucleus of the Cajal and the pretectal nucleus. So in this picture, the green dot is representing the pretectal nucleus and the purple dot is representing the interstitial nucleus of Cajal. What does the pretectal nucleus do? It is involved in the light reflex center. And what does the interstitial nucleus of Cajal do? It is involved in the upward and downward gaze, the vertical gaze center, right? So let's talk about the nucleus in this picture. The pink one is somatic motor nucleus, the green one is Edinger-Westphal nucleus, and the small 2 dots, the green one is pretectal nucleus and the purple is interstitial nucleus of Cajal, and that's it. So let's talk about the exit from the brain. So after emitting from the midbrain, it will leave the brain stem in the interpeduncular fossa medial to the crest cerebri. So in this picture, the arrow representing the oculomotor nerve emerging out from the brainstem in the interpeduncular fossa medial to the crest cerebri. The next picture basically showing the vessel, so it is in between the posterior and superior cerebellar artery, right? The lower one is posterior superior cerebellar artery and the upper one is superior cerebellar artery. So in between these 2 arteries, the arrow is representing the oculomotor nerve. What about the course and the supply? So in this picture, the overall supply is mentioned. The fibers of the nerve after emerging from the nucleus will be known as the nerve. It will pass through the cavernous sinus and then the superior orbital fissure. It will divide into superior division and inferior division. The superior will supply the levator palpebrae superioris and the superior rectus, and the inferior division will supply the inferior rectus, medial rectus, inferior oblique, and the sphincter, pupillae plus ciliary muscle. The green arrow is representing the parasympathetic supply, which is basically to the sphincter, pupillae muscle and the ciliary muscle, and these fibers will also in between pass through the ciliary ganglion also. So that was all about the supply of the oculomotor nerve. Let's talk about the lesions. So the first one is complete process drooping of the eyelid due to paralysis of levator palpebrae superioris. Levator palpebrae superioris is a part of the upper eyelid. It is involved in the blinking and supplied by somatic motor nucleus of the cranial nerve number 3. So lesion of cranial nerve number 3 will affect it and will cause the drooping of the eyelid. In this picture, the right eye is having the complete ptosis. The second one is external strabismus. The eye is deviated laterally and downward. Laterally because medial rectus is not working, so lateral rectus will move it towards lateral side, and downward by the superior oblique because inferior oblique is not working. The last one is mydriasis due to the paralysis of the sphincter pupillae muscle, and you note that the sphincter pupillae muscle is supplied by the cranial nerve number 3 and through the parasympathetic nucleus or Edinger with small nucleus. So the lesion of the cranial nerve number 3 will cause the mydriasis, which is the dilation of the pupil. You can see in both pictures the pupil is dilated too much. With that, we are going to end the cranial nerve number 3 discussion. Thank you so much for watching, guys. To see such more beautiful videos, press the bell icon and subscribe for more, and always stay motivated.